Las Vegas, huh? Who comes up with the idea of doing this thing in Las Vegas? I apologize. I'm the reason why we started late, but it was a good night. Honesty is the best medicine, right? Anyway, so people are taking payments with phones, and they're paying with phones, and you know, what does that have to do with us? That's kind of what we do. We convert cell phones into secure payment issuance devices, meaning when you want to put your bank account, your credit card, your debit card, your prepaid card, or any kind of payment vehicle in your client's phone as a wallet, the elusive and hot topic of the mobile wallet. And we also convert cell phones into secure payment acceptance, meaning your stores, your retailers. We're talking about your commercial banking customers who want to be able to use their tablets and cell phones to accept payments. Great. All right. And as that will show up, I will continue. As you're looking into this mobile payment ecosystem, and hopefully you all do have a mobile roadmap, unless you're doing the other theory, which is you close your eyes like this and you say, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. That one might not work. It didn't work with PC, it didn't work with the internet, it's certainly not going to work with mobile. So I'm going to hope that you do have a mobile roadmap, and this continues to fail, but there's three critical things that you have to think of when you are looking into your mobile payment ecosystem. One, you need secure software applications, right? So you definitely need a way that you're going to have an application in the device for the consumer, or if it's a consumer, for the wallet, if it's a merchant, for the POS. So you need the secure application, of course. You also need a PCI Level 1 validated gateway, kind of the cloud or the brain that makes everything happen, connecting transaction everywhere and anywhere. And then ultimately, something that people really don't think about, you need a robust platform to be able to deploy that technology. Phones are not like a regular POS that you keep them forever, the same thing with your wallet. You might be changing that every 6-8 months, so you need a deployment platform that's going to allow you to activate, deactivate those devices, be able to swap. As a customer change devices, you want to move that cash register to the next phone, you want to move that wallet to the next phone, and it'll be great if I can actually show you something at some point, right? Otherwise, I can do some dancing. I'm pretty good with dancing. It's getting kind of there already. Sadly, I can only talk so much. The idea is to show you the technology and allow it to do the talking. All right, well, dancing it is. And more dancing. Hold on. It's gotta go on. Oh my God. Yeah, the technology actually works. I promise you. I do. It'll be nice if you can see it. But anyway, let me keep talking about what you're going to see, and then hopefully at some point you're going to see, oh great, yeah, I'm sweating already. That's so fun. I'll be here all night, folks. This is good. When you're thinking about these transactions, and hopefully we're going to see them at some point, a few elements that you got to consider. When you're, if you're taking payments and you're going to add an additional device, and where you're going to be able to put the PIN or swipe the card, the first thing that you got to consider is the fact that you need to have encrypted data going through this device, right? So, unlike some of the unsecured stuff that you've seen around, you got to make sure that it's a PET validated device and your encrypted data right at that point. You also make sure that the application resides on the operating system. So the applications that at some point I would like to show you, they actually reside in the operating system of the device. These are not web-based sessions that you're going to open with your phone, which is not as stable, not as secure, not as fast. So they got to reside on the operating system, and you got to make sure it's device agnostic. So your customers are device agnostic. They don't just use Apple, they use Android, Windows. So you got to have an application for each operating system. And depending where you go, you probably need to accommodate some of the older ones, the Java, the Brew, Nokia, Motorola type of phones. Then you have to make sure that when you're sending transactions over to the gateway, that there is no sensitive data left on the phone. So these are secure applications, reside on the phone, and they I'm telling you, after this, I'm going to open my own show in Las Vegas. It's going to be really good. So they reside on the phone, they go to the gateway, and then you have to have a gateway that can connect in any data protocol, any connection type, to the given processor that you want to use. So you might want to stay here because I'm afraid now. So the transaction flow that I just talked to you about looks something like this, and I'm not going to waste any time. Let me just try to show you real quick before we lose the computer again. What I'm going to show you, at least I get to show you one of them, is going to be my Google or the Samsung Nexus S device. This device happens to be NFC enabled. So I'm going to show you two things. One is merchant accepting payments with the device, and two is a consumer paying with the device. Of course, you can see Angry Birds on the screen. You know, no phone is complete without Angry Birds, so that's an important thing. But besides that, I'm going to go ahead and log into the application. And we were not having internet connection as well before, so let's see how far the transaction goes. But I'm going to go ahead and log into my app. As you would into any other type of cash. And when you look at it, you pretty much see what you will expect from a regular POS. Actually, let me show you some real quick things in here. It's as robust, perhaps even more, of what your regular POS would be. So if I want to have, I'm in a different kind of industry, I go ahead and I change the industry type. I want to send transactions from the field right into QuickBooks accounting. I just click on this, it'll go to the customer, the invoice within that customer. If it's a different industry, you change that as well. You want to do taxing, if you're in a tipping related industry, by amount, percentage, you can auto apply an amount. And again, given that this particular device happens to have NFC, our gateways do an EMB, PIN debit, sending it to your processor of choice. And we also do NFC transactions. So you just show the card to the device, go ahead and do the transaction. And actually, we have connection. This is going to be a live transaction. That was actually a live transaction. I get to sign on the screen. Signature capture is important for you and for your merchants. There's a chargeback resolution kind of dispute. You want to make sure everything is available at the gateway. When you're talking about prepaid, something that we're doing in here, and I won't be able to show you many of them, but you get to activate the activate. You know that when you issue in prepaid, the important part is that you have a way to load these cards, right? Because otherwise you have dead cards in the field mean nothing. So any merchant that you approve to be able to become a loading, part of your loading network, they can use the device to go ahead and add value to the different cards. And merchants also want to do other creative things, like for example, converting checks into electronic transactions, in which case you're looking at the instrument, I'm typing in the data. I'm going to go ahead and type in the bank account. What account do I want to pay from? And some of you might be using different processors for this kind of service, so we provide you the technology to be able to connect with them and provide it to your customer. That was a live transaction. I don't have a check, so I'm going to take a picture of you guys. Sorry, looking very good. And then I get to tweet, like they said. All right, good. I'm going to go ahead and submit the picture, so the picture is now on the gateway. I'm pretty sure I won't have time to show you here live, but you can see it by the booth later on. And then I'm going to do one more transaction set before they put me out of the stage. Now I'm a consumer with my phone working as a wallet, right? So I'm going to come in here, and this is my mobile wallet. I have a Google Nexus NFC phone, right? So I can go ahead, there's a counter like this. If the merchant system works with NFC, that's great, and we all know at some point that might happen, but at some point it might not. So in the meantime, if you have a poster that you can come in and say, pay here with your cell phone, I can click into the phone, the tab in here, the counter. I pick what account I want to pay from, what amount, let's make this a $5 transaction. The second level of security, the first was to log in into the application. My second one was to complete the transaction. The transaction is completed. After that, we know that it's got to go beyond payment, so we added a little way here for you to play a little game, and it's Las Vegas, so of course, this is, you get to spin the wheel, and when you spin the wheel, as we all know in the demo, everybody wins. In real life, perhaps not so much. And then what is important in here is that this congratulations, I'm awesome. What that really means is a message that, I agree. Besides that, you actually get to pick that from the gateway itself. So that is based on the merchant, and that message could have been 10% next to you, say whatever you want to offer that merchant, correct? So that's that transaction set. They haven't thrown me out of the stage yet, so I'm going to continue.
Yep, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay, if it's 30 seconds, Thank you guys.